Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thought about taking a long break from the super late model open series race that I did to kind of reset, regroup, hopefully come back better, but decided that I thought it was best for me to jump back in as quickly as I could, try to just get something under my belt, feel good about, and just forget everything altogether. So what a better way to do it than come into a really weak strength of field in a SK open series. It's a car I enjoy. First time I've run it here at Stafford. Makes sense since it is the origination of the SK in terms of the track, and this is probably one of my favorite tracks for this car so far that I've run. So I'm gonna go out for qualifying and see if I can try to put it on the pole. Don't know if I'll have the setup to do that. Track said it's a little bit hotter than what I practiced, but not bad. Just gonna try to go out and put together as good of a first lap as I can. Try to get the best run off of 4 as I can. Carry the momentum down the front stretch. I am certainly not going to be running lines, since some of these guys will be, but you know, certainly going to try to do the best that I can. Just want to try to get a good finish, clean race, no incident points. Try to stay off of everybody. Try to build back some of that confidence, get some respect back in me, and hopefully be able to move past what happened in that one and show that that's not, you know, who I am. So. I'm just trying to put in a second lap just to see, even though we are sitting on the pole right now, see if I can pick up anything. Car feels pretty good. And it's definitely going to be slower. It's typically how it's been for me. So quite a bit slower almost.
Pole position. Well done, mate.
Yeah, good run to start, about 10th quicker. Again, I expected this to be, I was hoping there would be a couple quicker people in here to kind of gauge myself off of, but certainly pretty weak strength of field overall, so 40 laps should go fairly quick. Just have to try to do the best I can to get a good start and drive a clean race. Seems like the only SK races I can do well in, with the exception of the one at Oxford Plains, is these really weak strength of fields. I just catch them in off-peak times by the time that I'm ready to run one of them, and you know, if I want to focus on trying to get in the strength of field races with them, I obviously need to build up my iRating quite a bit, but need to start focusing on some of the peak times. So we'll see. May do that for second season of this year, not sure. But yeah, let's get gridded up and get ready to roll. Gonna pull up session best lap.
40 laps. The track temp is 109 Fahrenheit.
I think you're going to see a lot of cars diving down to the yellow line, using the apron through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The way I set the car up and the way I was driving it, it just doesn't like that. So I think for me, I'm going to be just getting it down to the white line as close as I can. It's kind of set up that as the later run goes, I can kind of barely dip the left side tires onto the apron, get it to help rotate the car around a little bit, but it really doesn't like to do that too much. It will rip it around, so I'm certainly going to try to do the best that I can to keep it up. But I find that if I don't go much more than a half lane up off the bottom, and dime in the corners that way, that seems to be the best line for me. If I try to come up a full lane to these first set of hash marks, I end up giving up at least half a tenth, if not a tenth, through that end of the track. So for me, it's going to be all about just trying to keep as close to the bottom as I can through the corners, and try to diamond it, straighten out the exits a little bit, and get as good of a run off. So just going to have to see how we do pace-wise. Hopefully the qualifying pace is indicative of what I can do in race compared to them, and just try to get 40 laps that are clean. So gonna be getting ready to go here. Pace car is going to be falling off.
Watch for the lights.
Wait and try to get a run here out of 4 as best as I can.
Green,
2 looks like he was kind of expecting that. He cuts down the slide in front of the 3. Biggest thing for me is just not overdrive it. Again, keep it above that white line. A little loose off of the corner. Do have the car set up to be slightly loose to start, just that way the balance can be neutral to ever so slightly tight by the end of the run if I don't overdrive it. But just looking to try to get a clean, good race in here, get my bearings set. Probably going to see me running Tour Mod race as well in the next day or 2. Just wanted to try to get back in, get reset, put the super late model behind me, and get into some series that I enjoy and have fun with. So
you're in the lead. The guy behind is just.
You can see there I overshoot 1 and 2. You can see how much time it also Put too much wheel into it while I was trying to get back on the throttle, so I got it loose. Had to check up a little bit. That allows the 2 and the 3 to close in on me. Certainly, seems like I have the pace to run. Just have to do the best that I can to not overdrive. Keep the car going forward without sliding too much. Got the 12 car up ahead. Not sure if the 14 and him had incident off the start or what happened, so I have to try to work by him as best as I can once I get to him. Hopefully I can get by him efficiently and not have problems. Losing time to the 2, you can see I overdrove the corner again. Didn't get us loose off the corner, but that allows the 2 to close up, so looks like it could be a 3-car battle for the lead. Did not want this one to be this close, but I'm going to try to do the best that I can. Could be one of those 2 where if the 2's pushing hard now, you could have a setup that ends up tightening up too much later on, or heats up the right side tires too much, and I could try to pull away later on in the race. 40 laps is going to go quick here, but it's also probably not going to feel quick enough for me if I'm really not that much faster than the 2, so let's see, I'm just coming out a little too high. The 2's able to get a good run down the bottom of 2. I have to make sure I do a better job protecting that bottom. Thought he was going to try to get a crossover off of 4. He got a little loose. I don't think I really blocked him or pinched him or anything. Certainly took his run away, but I don't think I really cut down too hard in front of him, so it causes him to fall back into the clutches of the 3. Gives me a little bit of a breather as I come up to the 12. To try to find the best way around the 12. He goes high into turn 1. Thank you to him. It's a lap car you always hear. Really have to get even further out of the outside line through the corners just because of the way the line is. It's typically that diamond, so it goes up in the center of the corner, so you may think you're clear. It may actually come up into your left side, so had to do that before. Really able to pull away from the 2, not sure if he had problems. Like I said, I don't think we made any contact, and I don't think he really tried to cut down too hard off of 4 with that lap. I don't think I really did anything egregious, but just gotta try to focus on not making mistakes so I can take advantage of the nice lead that we have almost a second and a half now. 2's pulling away from the 3 a little bit as well, so we'll see if the 2 can mount a charge back to me. Looks like he caught up a 10th that time. I have to do my best job to slow down a little bit more going into 1. You can see just kind of kicking the rear end out a little bit too much, and that's killing the momentum through the center of the corner off. Not as bad as in 3 and 4. Whatever reason, it just seems like I've got to do a better job of exaggerating how much I brake to get into 1 and 2 to not overshoot that corner compared to what I do in 3 and 4. It's just something I found with my own driving. I'm not sure if it's something that I inherently do, or if it's the setup, or if it's the track.
Behind is now 1.26.
The gap's holding pretty constant at 1.2. Like I said, I feel like I kind of backed the car off just a little bit, but I'd be one of those 2 if he's pushing hard, if they're both pushing hard, that again they could start falling off a little bit more than I will the last half of the race, and I can see that gap open back up. Got up a 10th that time, so
you've just done a 19.
Enough of a gap right now that I don't have to be too worried about that, but certainly just have to watch and try to drive as best lines as I can to minimize whatever time they're able to gain, or at least as much as I can control, and if they're just faster, they're faster.
That lap time was 19.43.
Got the 14 as the next lap car up ahead, so I have to watch for him. Probably will get to him somewhere in... Thought he was going to be down into 1, but he stays high coming out of turn 4, so almost a close moment. I was kind of holding just down the middle of the straightaway, and he was coming off the wall, but thankfully we didn't make contact, so... Looks like E2 has a similar issue getting off of 2 to get by the 14. He's able to clear him. The 3 clears him as well, allows the 3 to close up a little bit on the 2, so that gap's down to 0.2. We were able to open up about 2 tenths though with that.
Lap time was at 19.56.
Approaching halfway. We'll be starting lap 19 next time by. Car's feeling pretty good, except for that dumb mistake. Thankfully, big enough lead that I could afford to climb the wall. Just really could not afford to do stuff like that. As a whole, that was just a complete mental blur. Should have been a much better run off the corner. I'm just fixated on the wrong thing, I suppose. This allows them to close that 2/10 gap back up, or the 2/10 difference that I'd made up with getting around the 14. Quite a bit away to the 10 is the next car.
The gap behind is now 1.07.
Did have a full field of cars, or pretty close to a full field. I think it was 15 cars in total. Just, fortunately,
All right, Jake.
very, very weak strength of field when I am only a 2600, just under 2700 rated driver, and I'm the number one. Really, really weak field. Here, crew chief call out halfway. We're going to be starting lap 22 this time by. 2's pulling away again from the 3. He's pulled up about a 10th on us. Don't think that wall climb damaged the car too much. More my pride than anything. Just gonna make sure I don't drive it too high off of turn 4 and do that again.
That lap was a 19.45.
Trying to just run as consistently as I can. I feel like I could do halfway decent with setting these cars up. I'm sure with the right driver these could go even faster. I enjoy running them. I want to learn how to drive them even better, so that way I can get even more out of the setups and contend with, you know, some of the top guys in the series.
The gap behind is now 1.04.
Despite the fact that, you know, I don't think we run it enough short tracks, under, you know, a half mile in these cars. They are a lot of fun. With the exception, I don't enjoy running them on the very big tracks, the very high bank tracks that are basically just wide open the whole time. But otherwise, it's a lot of fun.
19.43.
Some smoke up ahead. Have to keep an eye. We did close up on the 10. Got by the 14 again there a lap ago. Just trying to navigate lap traffic as best as I can. So it'll give me good practice with being patient, working for the right spot, getting by somebody respectfully,
Okay,
and
Jake. Lap times are pretty
not
consistent.
forcing an issue more than I need to. Figure out our way around the 10 if he's not going to move. Close up him on the front stretch.
Coming up on your
He does go high, thank you to him. Probably should have cut down a little bit quicker than what I did. I'm lucky enough to not make contact with his left rear. Thank you for him for being so respectful. It's nice to see even in a lower strength of field like this, guys are being very respectful in terms of slower traffic, you know, getting out of the way for faster traffic. Sometimes I feel like in the high strength of fields I don't always get that, so really nice of them.
The gap behind is now 1.24.
2 has not been able to get by him yet, so it's allowing me to open up the gap a little bit.
We're matching race pace.
Gonna be coming by to start lap 30, so we'll be entering the closing stages of the race. Not sure if we'll get to the next set of lap traffic up ahead. We got the 15, the 9, and the 11 all up ahead. They are scored as 9th, 10th, and 11th on the grid moment. Certainly not going to back off just to avoid not getting them, but if I have a big enough lead and I close up to them, you know, I may take it a little bit easier if I have the time to give.
Keep it up.
So our gap is at about 1.5 seconds. Opened up a little bit off the 2 as he was working by the 10, so certainly as the laps close down, that gap's going to be much harder for the 2 to close up. Every time they get to a lap car, the 3 tries to close up, so if they can get engaged in a battle as well, that can allow me to pull it up even more. But it seems like the only lap car we might get to right now would be the 11, unless something happens between the 15 and the 9. Trying to get back to running a little more in the way of consistency for laps. I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that can improve my driving, is if I can figure out how to do the same thing every time, then you know, I can bring a lot of time as a whole off, be able to hang with top guys more. Don't make excuses, but you know, with me being on a lower end setup in terms of the pedals and the wheel, I think, at least with the pedals itself, not exactly the feel that I would want. So I just have to be even more cognizant about how little input it takes to reach a certain, either throttle percentage or brake percentage, and really be cognizant of where I'm at with that and try to do the best I can to replicate that the same way every time, or adjust it as the car wears down.
The gap behind is now.
Yeah, that's something that I'm really going to try to spend some time focusing on. I think that'll help me take my driving to the next level. Just on stock Thrustmaster T3PAs, and so to me both the brake and the throttle springs feel a little bit too soft. So it ends up being a little more pressure than I would necessarily intend for. So I just have to really be careful to make sure that I don't do more than I need to. A lot of times I think I'm barely picking up the throttle and I'm actually using like half or 2/3 throttle without meaning to. So, and I can very easily end up off of where I want to be, so just need to do the best that I can to work on that. And, in these race situations, especially when I have a lead like this, I really try to treat it like a practice session to learn that. So laps back there were pretty consistent. That one, not a good entry off of turn 2, scrubbed a lot of speed, didn't lose. Caught up to the back of the 11, just going to sit here. We've got a nice lead. The 11 moves over our slip, we take it, but no reason to push it when we're sitting on over a 2-second lead.
That lap time was 19.53, matching race pace.
This is just all about being aware of where I'm at in the race and what's going on. No reason to try to get by these guys, don't gain anything for it. It's taking unnecessary risks. We get the white flag this time, so as long as nothing happens up the front, which I'm trying to keep my eye out for, especially between the 9 and the 15, should be able to bring it home and the win. 9 gets by the 11 there, or by the 15. 15's going to dive way underneath him. Don't think he's going to be able to get there. 11, unfortunately, didn't have anything he could do. I'm sure he was hoping for contact to try to get 2 spots out of it. But yeah, feels nice to get a good win in. Obviously, I would prefer to get a win against a much stronger field, but this is just good for the confidence and kind of resetting and forgetting where we were at. So nice overall. Did exactly what I needed to. Had a couple mistakes, but overall not a bad run. Tires were actually, that setup stayed on the looser side, which was fine with me. I was pretty happy with that overall. So yeah, I just I don't know, not a ton to look at. I mean, we could look at let's look at the start and see if we could figure out what happened between the 14 and the 12. So we get off. 14's on the outside of the 12. He's going to hold himself. He's going to take the second line. Oh, the 7 had issues, and that was a big slow up right there. And then the 7 gets into the 12 out of turn 2. So that sent the 12 to the back. So that's what caused him to be there. The 5 had an issue. Wow, cars just having issues everywhere. Okay, so we're going to back this up on the beginning of lap 1. And I'm going to go control numpad 3 to see the incidents here. So the 6... Oof. Okay, so wow, that was an interesting one. I believe that was the 5. Let's see who that was. It was the 5 and the 4. So this is coming to the. Excuse me. This is coming to the green. So I take off. 5's starting in 5th. 4's in 6th. Was that netcode, or was that just the 5 running right up into the 4? I mean, I guess that started as netcode, but the 5 was getting the 4 no matter what. And he just, I don't know, to me that looks like he just drove up, didn't realize he was clear, just drove right up into the 4, so that gets him sliding. So then what that's going to cause is the 6 having to check up there, so the 8 and the 7 come barreling in side by side into that. And they have to blow it up, so then the 7's really slow. Then you see the 12 and the 14 splitting the 7. So the 14 has to shoot way up high. He has the issue. And then the 7 gets going, and I don't know if he just didn't anticipate the 12 not going or what, but he just drills them in the left rear and sends them around. So That was certainly interesting there. Let's get back to the next incident. So you can see the 12 going for the ride to the infield off the nose of the 7. 7's going to run to the inside of the 6. 14's going to come in, drills the 6. Actually, the 6 gets out of it with almost no problems. 14 drives to the inside. You can see him sliding there through the exit of the pit road. We've got the 8. He's going to slide up, drill the wall out of turn 4. Pretty decent hit. I understand that one. You're actually going to end up seeing me. 3. Scrub the wall, climb the wall after the start-finish line. Here's going to be my shot to the wall. It's a light one and it climbs the wall like an idiot. 14 drills the wall in turn 2, comes down the field. Lucky to not get drilled by the 7. 13 catches the grass off of turn 2, blinks out. 5's going to get in, not quite in the back. The 12 stayed off of him, but drilled the wall coming out of 4. I believe that was it. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a really crazy start. I did not realize any of that happened. I was just focused on trying to get away from the 2 and the 3. So that was a pretty hectic start there. Let's take a look at the results. They should obviously be pretty positive, both from the iRating side and the safety rating side. Don't expect iRating to go all that much up. It was pretty weak strength of field. 1365 was, again, like I said, a single split. So 15 cars. I think that's close to the max. I think it's either 15 or 16 that you can run in SK. So we were pretty close to splitting, but just not a crazy popular series overall. Not a crazy popular time. Actually didn't even have the fastest lap. 3 actually had a fastest lap. 2 actually was faster than me. I feel like I had a car setup that was probably a little bit better on the long run. Didn't burn off quite as much, I would say, and that's why I was able to stay in front of them and open up that gap. So able to get a 48 iRating, so up to 2743, and able to get 0.26 out of the safety rating, and able to get that 0.4 bump, so back up to 247. So pretty close back to where I was with the pre-safety rating before the super late model race. I ran a couple Legends races just to test out some equipment and stuff like that. Nothing I wanted to record or post. It was just me doing some experimentation. So was able to help out the safety rating a little bit with those. That's why I got back so quickly. But still, 0.66 was just about 2/10 under what I lost out of the super late model. So glad to get 40 clean laps in. That did exactly what I wanted it to. Hopefully I can just put that one behind me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I know it wasn't the most competitive, aside from the first like 10 laps or so for me, but it was just, that was a good confidence builder, and to try to see, how the car felt. So have an announcement in the next couple of weeks in regards to modifieds as well. I'm not sure when I'm going to make that, but something that I'm pretty excited about. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to leave any comments below, any feedback, anything you guys want to say too. I'm going to kind of be working on my plans for what I want to focus on for Season 2 in the next week or so. Probably talk about that too, during caution laps or dead points before a race, whatnot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Stay tuned for more races, and until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.